Alright, this is...
Do you want to make an appearance?
No. Scene 1, take 1. Alright, scene 1, take 2.
Scene 1.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye, baby.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the part 2 of my wedding planning 101 tips and tricks and my experience with everything. So today I'm going to be talking specifically about your week leading up to the wedding, and then also wedding day tricks and tips. Just because last time she was so little, look how big she's gotten. Oh, my baby. She's probably going to be on the bed just throughout the video, so don't mind her. So before I jump into this video, I just want to say there is a part 1 to this. If you haven't started your wedding planning process, that would probably be a helpful video to watch first and then watch this one. But yeah, let's just get into my first tip. I think the most helpful thing for you is to have a very specific schedule that you're following for your wedding day. For me, that was like my most important thing because Nolan and I, like I talked about in the last video, we used to video weddings, but some of the brides didn't have a schedule. Obviously they knew when their ceremony was starting, but it wasn't very specific, and so it led to a lot of problems and unnecessary stress on their wedding day because they didn't know what time they needed to be done with their hair and their makeup, or people weren't on the same page with what time they needed to be ready by or what time they needed to get things wrapped up with whatever part of the wedding it was. So I would suggest having a schedule is very helpful, and the more specific you can be, the better. For me, I started making my schedule probably 2 months before our wedding, and I was like a little bit confused because I was like, I don't know how long pictures and videos take. So I texted my photographer and I said, hey, I'm in the process of making a schedule. Would you mind giving me a call and we could kind of talk through it together? That's what we did. She called me and I said, you know, how long will it take to take the getting ready pictures? How long will it take to do the first look? All that kind of stuff, so that I knew what time it would be realistic to get to the venue or realistic to get to dinner. So that was very helpful because your photographer does know how much, if they've been doing it a while, they do know how long usually things take, and they can give you a more set in stone timeline, because when you have a timeline you feel like you kind of have to stick to it, so it could be stressful to not stick to it. So it's best to have it as specific and realistic as possible. I hope that made sense. Another really helpful thing I found for the week leading up to the wedding, which I guess I didn't do this that week, but I did do it for that week. I hope that made sense. So I made a very in-depth list of everything that needed to be done that week, because there are some things that you just can't do before that week. Like, for instance, you can't go get your nails done ahead of time. That's kind of something that has to happen that week. If you're going on your honeymoon, you have to pack for your honeymoon. I guess you could do that weeks prior, but sometimes it's just hard. Things like that. There's also some things that for our wedding specifically needs to be done that week that couldn't be done prior to that. So picking up your rentals. None of our rental places we didn't pay anyone to come bring it to the venue. I think we borrowed, I can't even remember. Maybe we borrowed a trailer. Maybe we just used my dad's truck. I don't remember. But we transported all of our rentals to the venue by ourselves, so we didn't have to pay them for that. But so things like that. This kind of leads into my next tip. For me specifically, people would come up and be like, hey, is there anything you need? Do you need help? Whatever. And some people are like, oh no, we're good. I was like, wait, are you serious? Because if you're serious, I'm gonna put your name on the list and I'm probably gonna ask you for your help during the wedding day. So I did, and it was the best thing because people want to help. People want to be involved in your wedding day, and there's a lot of tiny little jobs on your wedding day that you can't do, your parents can't do, your husband can't do, like no one in the wedding party can do. And so it's helpful to have those people who want to do something just have a little job during the wedding day. They feel special. You don't have to stress about those little things being done. Yeah, so one of my mom's best friends in charge of my decor. So she came over like 2-3 days before the wedding, and I kind of walked her through everything we had. So I had it all laid out on our kitchen table, and I just said, okay. And I had specific directions. I probably went overboard, but better safe than sorry, because I wasn't at our venue getting ready. I showed up for pictures and then went straight to the ceremony, so I couldn't have done anything by myself, nor did I want to. I just wanted it to be a chill day where I could just enjoy myself and I didn't have to run around worrying about decor. So I made an in-depth list of like how I wanted things arranged, and I also set out like a table and with a tablecloth and stuff, and I took pictures and had them printed of exactly how I wanted things arranged on tables, because most of our decor was actually table decor, so it worked out fine. And then I kind of drew a map of our venue and said, okay, I want this placed here and this placed here. So that was very helpful for me to feel like, okay, everything's going to be set up how I envisioned it to set up. And I think it was helpful for them because they didn't have to take as long trying to figure out what would look nice. They just kind of had to do what I had already written out. Yeah, so that worked really well. I got there and everything looked exactly how I had envisioned it. So it was perfect and not stressful at all for me. Another helpful thing with volunteers is the little things throughout the wedding that someone has to do. So we didn't have a bartender. We just had jugs of like lemonades, waters. Don't even remember exactly what we ended up having. I don't think I actually drank from them. I think I had a water bottle, but so we had all those. Someone had to refill those. Someone had to help move chairs. People had to help move some of the decor needed to be moved over. There was people handing out desserts. There was people who handed out like the flutes for the toast, stuff like that. Filling up the champagne glasses, all that kind of stuff. Someone has to do that, and so it was really nice to have those people who wanted to help. I think it ended up just being mostly family people, but giving them something to do, and it worked out perfectly. A tip I would give though, just out of experience though, when someone else is helping you and you have a specific vision for how something should go, make sure that comes across to them in directions. So for example, our sparkling send-off was kind of chaotic, which was really sad because me and Nolan both were looking forward to that a lot just because we are wedding videographers. We knew how cool that video is and stuff. So just a little story time. I'll make it quick. But I was talking to someone and we were getting ready to do the sparkler send-off. Nolan was like, I don't even know where. Like he was not in the wedding vicinity. Like we just had gotten done with dancing because there was a noise cut off at 10 o'clock, and so the music had to stop at 10. So the music had stopped. I was talking to someone. I think about like, where's Nolan? He needs to get here. Meanwhile, people are getting lined up to do the sparkler sent off, so we wanted people in a line so we could just run down. The sparklers are being sent off, so I'm talking to someone, and then out of like the corner of my eye, I see like sparklers start lighting up, and I was like, I have to go. I am so sorry. And I like literally picked up my dress and started sprinting over there. And I was like, stop lighting the sparklers. And like I don't even know how many people were there. Maybe like 150. Like there was still a lot of people at the wedding. And so like I don't have that loud of a voice. And so people were like starting to light other people's. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going to have a sparkler send off. Because once those sparklers light once, they sparkle down and then that's it. So I was like yelling like, stop, stop, stop. And not in a mean way. I was just like frantic, you know? So, and I don't really know, I can't remember off the top of my head if I had someone in charge of that, or I think what I said to my bridesmaids was like, hey, if anyone, when we get to that, could people hand them out and then light them? I wasn't specific enough, and so that's so not on them, that's on me. But so just like a caution that if you have a vision, make sure that comes across if I could do that over again, which it ended up turning out perfect anyway, so it was like no big deal at all. We had extra sparklers, we rehanded them out once Nolan got there, and it worked, so it was all good. I think that's all I have to say about volunteers. I think it's super, super helpful to have people involved in your wedding, because there is a lot of things that need to be done on that day. Like setup, super important to have people there for setup. You don't want too many, but you do want enough that they're not there all morning and all afternoon. So another thing for the week of the wedding is normally people do a rehearsal and a rehearsal dinner. Most likely it's going to be at the venue that you guys are getting married at. Do you hear my dog scratching at our door? Another very, very, very helpful thing was having a day of wedding coordinator. So she wasn't a wedding planner, like we didn't hire her throughout the whole process. It was just on our wedding day, she was kind of in charge of making sure things were going smoothly, that we were kind of running on time. She like sent people down the aisle at like the perfect pace that I could come in at the part of the song I wanted to. Hey, it's time to do the toast. Are we good to do toast? Okay, now it's time to hand out cake. Okay, we should probably get everyone over to the dance floor. Like, she kind of ran the whole day, and it was a blessing to have that because I tend to be someone that would take on that like leadership position if I didn't feel like someone else was. So it was really helpful for me to just feel like, okay, I can trust Robin. She does this all the time. She's great at it. And so it was a weight off my shoulders. She also came and ran our rehearsal, which was super nice too because, you know, people listened to her. She knew what she was talking about and it was very helpful. One of the nice things about rehearsals is that you can walk into your wedding day feeling confident that the right people are walking down the aisle at the right time and they know where they're standing. So we had like little like the golf tees, is that what it's called? I think that's like the little golf tees, and we set them in the ground so people knew where to stand. If that happened on our wedding day, I have no idea if people stood in the right spot. It seemed like they did. And made sure that we were standing in the right spot. Made sure everyone knew what they were doing. So that was really helpful. I think rehearsals very important, especially at your wedding venue. If you can do that, I think it's very helpful. And then also people just can kind of visualize it in their head what they're supposed to do on the wedding day. Another very important thing is don't wait to do things on the week of leading up to the wedding. I felt like I had done everything that I could before our wedding week, and somehow, and I don't even know why, but I felt stressed. So we got married on a Friday. On Thursday, the whole day I felt like I have so much to do and no time to do it. And I don't really know, I can't remember why I felt like that, because like all of our decor was done, it was in the hands of someone else. I had already assigned people to like help pick up chairs or to help set up. I had everyone's jobs planned out and like they knew what they were doing. Like I don't know why I felt like, I kind of felt flustered is the word I should say. So I would very much encourage you to do absolutely everything, even if it's 2 weeks before, if it's that week before the week of the wedding, do everything before that. Because for some reason I felt stressed even though I had nothing to stress about. And I shouldn't say stressed, I just felt kind of flustered, like this is literally how I felt. Like okay, so moving on to the actual wedding day. I don't have a lot to say about the actual wedding day just because I don't know how most brides do it, but I completely went like this. I was like, it's in everyone else's hands. I felt very confident that I had planned everything I needed to plan, had people in charge of everything that needed to have someone in charge of it. And so I really did go into our wedding day completely stress-free. My first tip for your wedding day is to wake up enough time in advance before you have to be somewhere that you don't feel rushed. And I did this, and I'm very glad because I don't tend to be the most prompt person. I have a very big problem with being late, and even if I feel like I woke up in enough time, I'm like, oh, I'm good, somehow I still end up being just like even a couple minutes late. I don't know why. I think I'm cursed. That's a different story. But I got up in enough time. I was like 10 minutes early to my hair appointment, and I had gotten all my stuff together that I needed to take. I had my bag that I was gonna use for our wedding day with all my makeup, the robe I was gonna wear, my undergarments, stuff like that, my brush, my perfume, like my little props that I was gonna use when the photographer came, stuff like that. Another very, 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 very important thing that people either forget to do or just don't want to do, and it's eat. I do not eat breakfast ever, but I forced myself to eat something in the morning while I was waiting for my hair appointment to start. I ate a little like RX bar because I was told you need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat. And it's true, like you just like get jittery because you're just excited, and I hate that feeling. So food actually did help it. And throughout the day I did a really good job eating. I actually, which is not normal, usually the bride's the one that has a problem eating. I ate throughout the entire day perfectly fine. Nolan was actually the one that didn't eat. But anyway, how my morning looked is I woke up, got my stuff ready, went to my hair appointment. Did someone pick me up? I think someone picked me up or dropped me off at my hair appointment. Couldn't have a car at the wedding venue because we were taking Nolan's car. So got my hair done, and then I went to my in-laws' house where all us bridesmaids got ready at. Like my hair appointment went great. Someone picked me up. They got me Dutch Bros. I like ended up getting to my in-laws' house actually early, which if you know anything about wedding days, no one's ever on time or early. So I was very proud of myself for being early, and I just kind of got to chill because I was there like way, way, way early. I think I got there like 4.5 hours before I needed to be ready, and I wanted to give myself double the amount of time it normally takes me to do my makeup, just because I was doing my own. I just wanted to like not rush, just to take my time and not stress about it. So I actually waited like 2 hours after I got there. I just hung out with my bridesmaids while they were getting ready because they still had to do their hair and their makeup. So it actually worked out perfectly. I just got to hang out with them. I got to eat a little bit, and it just was actually just a really fun morning. Wasn't stressful at all. So I did my own makeup for my wedding day, and you might not believe me when I say this, and I could have regretted this. I don't. It was a little crazy of me because of how planning and ahead of things I am, but I didn't practice my makeup before my wedding day. And I know that's crazy because I was doing my own makeup. I did try out products though to make sure that my makeup was like long lasting. So I did practice that. I didn't practice like what eye look I was gonna do or anything like that. Call me crazy. I call myself crazy, but it turned out fine. Yeah, and we all like got ready early before our photographer and videographer had even gotten there. And so that was awesome. I think that whole morning kind of set the mood and my mood just for the whole wedding day, because we weren't ever rushing or like feeling like with each other, you know, so it was perfect. So my last tips are just kind of very broad, nothing specific, but like that day goes by so quickly, way too quickly, and it's really easy just to kind of fly by and just be like, oh my gosh, like you wake up the next morning and you're like, that was my wedding day, like. And I feel like I did a good job taking it all in, every moment. Like I was like, okay, I want to remember this forever. And I felt like I did a good job taking everything in. Some people talk about their wedding day as being a blur, and like they can't really remember anything. I can say that I feel like I remember everything. I keep replaying it in my mind too, just to like make sure I do remember it. But I think that also has to do with just not feeling stressed on the day and just being like, okay, I've done all I can. It's gonna be perfect no matter what happens. It's gonna be our wedding day. Another thing that I would really suggest you do, because like it was one of my favorite parts of the wedding, is I quickly ate, and then me and Nolan went through the dinner line and just said hi to everyone at the wedding. And we might have missed a couple people, and I try to get the people that had already sat down to eat. I loved that because I felt like I could connect with everyone that came and just say thank you for coming and know who was at our wedding pretty much. It's a special day and those are special people that get to come to your wedding. The last tip I kind of have for the day of the wedding is actually one my cousin gave me. I asked her, I was like, okay, give me all the advice, the do's and the don'ts before. So I was like, tell me everything. And this is her tip to you guys. Well, to me, and now I'm sharing it with you guys. It's to spend just a little bit of time, just you and your husband. Like, you don't have everyone around because as weird as this sounds, you kind of don't see each other a lot during your wedding day. Most of your time is kind of spent like saying hi to people. You get ready separate usually. So there's not a lot of like time just for the two of you. And so that was a really special thing to do. After our wedding ceremony, this might be confusing, so here's the aisle. All of our bridal party went this way, but me and Nolan went this way. So we went to the bridal suite. Is that what it's called? I think it's called the bridal suite. It's where at the venue the boys got ready. So me and Nolan went there, and so we got maybe 5 minutes just by ourselves, kind of before the whirlwind of the day, because the ceremony is really special. Doesn't feel like but it's like the reception stuff that it's like so many people and like you're kind of running around doing your stuff. So it was really nice just to have like a moment to ourselves, and like right after the ceremony it was mostly just like, we just got married, we're married, you're my husband, you're my wife. And we took like a selfie. Like it was really nice just to have that moment to ourselves even before we went off to take pictures. But if you can squeeze that into your day, it shouldn't be long just because it's a pretty quick day, but just to have like just a little bit of time, just the two of you, is very special. I think that concludes part 2 of this video. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me below in the comments. I will for sure answer to my best of my experience to help you. I have gotten a lot of good feedback from my last video, just from girls that are in the process of planning their wedding, and so I hope this helps too. I know this video wasn't as specific as the last one, but I hope it still kind of at least gets your mind turning to think of things that might apply to your wedding day, because everyone's like week of is very, very different. So yes, I hope that helped. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!